You can change your whole life by taking back just some of your time. Feeling tired and unproductive all the time is not normal. Here are the 5 steps that I've taken to take control over my life and build a life that I've wanted. Number 1, allow yourself time to relax without guilt. It is so important that we allow the concrete to settle before building upon this foundation, meaning that if you do not look over your own health, you will burn out. What good does it do if you make great progression and stride in the first 2 months if you can no longer sustain that half a year from now? And it doesn't help when you're causing yourself so much immense anxiety. This is what's happening. You've set yourself an unrealistic standard because of perhaps what you're hearing online. That after you've had a complete day of work, that now you have to spend another 5 hours progressing on your side hustle. And that's the only way for you to win the long term. But when you do get home, you realize how tired you are. You realize how much you still have to do. You realize that you have to eat dinner, that you have to shower, that you have to allow yourself to relax. If you do not, you're going to cause yourself burnout. So you recognize that in the midst of the moment. But then when you continuously have this 5-hour standard, 6-hour standard, and you don't meet that standard, you're causing yourself so much despair, anxiety, and mental chaos. So listen to me very carefully. You must prioritize your rest and recovery, even to the point that if you are time blocking your day-to-day, which I really encourage you to do, and I've talked about that quite intensively, you should start out by blocking out your rest and recovery and even time for enjoyment. Let me allow this concrete foundation to be held before we start progressing any further. You must set that standard for yourself. Rest is important. You do not have to be in this hustle culture to win. I am living proof of that. You can maximize small pockets of your time in a productive way, and I'll be showing you how you can do that throughout this video. Before we move on to the next point, leave a comment below in regards to which of these 5 points are the most relevant to you, and I'll be responding to every single one of you. Now let's move on to the rest of the video. Number 2, make your compromises. The truth is, we can't have everything that we want all in one particular season. Yes, do we want to have time with our friends and family? Yes. Do you want to make time for ourselves and our own hobbies? Yes. Do we want to be incredibly successful in our careers? Yes. Do we want to also be able to take a week off whenever we want to? Yes. We all want to get to that point in time, but most likely you're not there yet. And so you have to make compromises in this current moment. And there's this great saying that I've had in my back of my head for so long. It's that if you don't elect your own sacrifices, the sacrifices will be made for you, especially as we're counting down on the last few months of 2025. And you want to set yourself up for an incredible amount of success heading into 2026. I really encourage you to view this as a sprint. I want you to view this as a season in which you do have to prioritize the work in front of you, where you do have to, if you're looking at your day-to-day schedules, you're still going to block your rest and recovery. You're going to find joy in that, but still, yes, you're not going to be able to have everything that you want and have great luxury and hanging out with your friends all the time. You have to make smarter decisions, but just know that these sacrifices are laying into the future that you ultimately want to carve out for yourself. When I look at my life, it's a true testament of that. When I was in college, I did have a lot of sacrifices to make, and that's because I elected to get both my bachelor's and master's in probably the hardest major you can possibly have, or one of the hardest, in biomedical engineering. And simultaneously, yes, I built $1 million business, and yes, I was posting every single day. So I had sacrifices in that moment, but guess how I'm living my life at the age of 24? I get to have my dream apartment. I get to go ahead and spend really beautiful date nights out with my awesome girlfriend. I get to fly my parents out. I get to do all of these types of experiences because I elected those sacrifices. So in the moment too, I make sacrifices all the time. I make compromises. I know that it's not forever. I don't have to give up socializing forever. I don't have to give up particular foods forever. It's just these momentary sacrifices where you're realizing that the long-term gratification is what you're ultimately pursuing. You're not looking for these short-term pleasures. If you can delay gratification, if you can start to recognize that in the immediate moment, yes, there's going to be some compromises that we have to make, but in this season, there's a purpose behind it. It allows you to know that you're on the right path. And a really great practice is to visualize your life after that period of time has now ended. Imagine heading into January 1st already having posted 100 pieces of content. Imagine heading into January 1st already being a better business owner. Imagine going into January 1st first and already haven't made your first $1,000 in entrepreneurship. If you can do that, I promise you, you're laying the foundations the right way. So in order for you to maximize this moment, make some compromises. Number 3, never stop learning. Your evenings are incredible for you to make these quick interchanges, right? And so what I mean by that is if you are spending, let's say 3 hours at night scrolling on your phone or maybe watching particular videos, a great exchange in that moment is for you to read a book for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or for you to go ahead and listen to a podcast while you're cooking. Or making these small incremental interchanges allows you to maximize those small pockets of time. And when you can learn, you're always progressing in a particular domain. So if you're learning about business, great. Now you're progressing in that particular domain. But I have to make this such a huge point of emphasis, right? I wrote the book, The Learning System. It's the book that really allowed my business to scale. But in that, I always talk about how application is significantly more important than the learning, the encoding portion of it, right? So whenever you're learning new material, you have encoding and you have retrieval. But everyone thinks about how can I encode information? How can I listen to something? How can I read something? But they forget about the retrieval portion. In order for you to do retrieval, active recall, you must implement. You must be in the practice of actually executing whichever information that you had learned. So consider these small pockets of time as input sessions. You shouldn't be only stacking up Monday through Sunday, only just reading 30 minutes for a book. You should do 30 minutes Monday through Wednesday, and maybe Thursday through Friday is going to be implementation days, and Saturdays and Sundays will be 30-minute blocks in which you're reviewing and reflecting. You must get into the practice of not waiting till you're finished, let's say an entire book, or let's say finish an entire podcast to go ahead and start taking action. You must learn while actually encoding the information in real time. I'm not saying you have to do all of that in one night for hours. I'm just saying 30 minutes where you read and listen to something on Monday and you go ahead and you implement that on Thursday. The ability for you to retrieve that information, to recall it, it's incredible for your learning and ensure that it's actually being retained for a long period of time. Number 4, work during your most productive hours. Everyone has different energy levels at different periods of time. So I know that this video is about how do you maximize your evenings, but in all honesty, I am somebody that is more of a morning person. So all throughout college, yes, I was waking up at 5:15, 5:20, but that's because I preferred that. I was the most awake at that period of time. I had the least amount of distractions at that period of time. But that doesn't go across the board for everyone, right? I've had friends that literally their lunch times is when they were the most productive. So they would go ahead and maximize that hour block. Great. So after they finish their day, then yes, in their evening, maybe they're spending 30 minutes, an hour, whichever period of time it is. Don't let someone tell you that you're doing it wrong. A great way that you can make use of this is by actually auditing your energy levels. And I really do mean this for particularly 1 week could be enough, where you're just going through your regular day to day and you're tracking how your energy levels do fluctuate. Sometimes we don't even have an awareness of it. So you won't ever know this unless you track your energy levels throughout a week. And even if you think that you do know it, it might be a very good practice to initially begin upon. And then once you know, okay, I'm gonna max out, let's say this 30-minute block during my lunchtime, that you put it in your time blocking schedule and you can ensure that you execute it on a regular basis. Number 5, treat your energy like a generator and not a battery. So it's not always just taking minutes of your day to relax entirely and not do anything, but sometimes it is blocking an activity that still is good for your health and also allows you to feel more re-energized, right? So going to the gym is a great example of this, where you go ahead and for, let's say, 30 minutes every single day, you go to the gym and you come out of it, you're gonna have the endorphins, the serotonin, and you're gonna feel better. And because of that, you're going to wanna progress harder throughout the day. In fact, when I am working on Creator College, my business, there's a lot of great energy that's invoked in that. I love building, I love innovating. That is who I am. I love redesigning. I love making our cohort experience the best thing in the entire world. If it is a creative outlet, if it is a physical outlet, if it is a socializing outlet, if you're an extrovert, find it and block that into your regular basis as well. So if that's throughout a week, maybe you're doing once or twice per week, and it allows you to have something to look forward to. And if you want to, actually make it a daily attribution, and that can be incredibly helpful as well. You can maximize these small pockets of time in your evenings after your 9 to 5, or even in your mornings, just the way that I was as a biomedical engineering student, where I was going into class from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., laboratory settings from 4 to 6 p.m., and then maybe an internship project that I was working upon. So don't let anyone tell you that you have to be someone that's in hustle culture and that's the only way for you to win. I really do believe it's about your steadfast approach over a long extended period of time, and hopefully that point was extremely clear throughout this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave
leave that comment below in regards to which one of these points were the most relevant. Give this video a thumbs up and of course subscribe. I will see you all at the top.